I just watched an interview with Douglas Murray. He was on the Rubin Report with Dave Rubin, obviously, and he is an English writer and journalist and editor at The Spectator, and he's also gay himself. So it's always interesting how the conversation kind of goes when Dave Rubin interviews another gay person, because the gay thing, it gets into the veins of the conversation, and it's always a little it comes off as one of those things that does get discussed, but discussed in a way that gay people are kind of tired of having those conversations. They're kind of, and I understand that from an experiential level, you never really want to have a conversation with somebody who doesn't really understand what homosexuality is and how it works, and not that it has a way that it works, but you just don't want to have these conversations over and over again, because you don't want to feel this like coming out thing like every time you have a conversation about homosexuality. I mean, it's fine to have a conversation about homosexuality if you're speaking with somebody on the level that you're on, and they understand how that works, and et cetera, et cetera. There's a much more nuanced conversation you could have about the subject. Anyway, it kind of got me a little bit thinking, because Douglas Murray was going on about how the world is going to be arguing about gender pronouns and about LGBTQI plus all the other letters, while foreign policy goes down the drain, and China's going to take over the world, etc., etc. So I understand that. I completely understand that. But the hairs on the back of my head, on the back of my neck, were kind of raised a little bit, because I'm thinking, with Spiralvent, do I do the same thing? Like, do I ram homosexuality down people's throats? But to my defense, I would say that no, I don't ram homosexuality down people's throats. I merely try to discuss homosexuality as it's seen in a religious context, and I still believe to this day that religion has, even if it's latent, it still has this anti-queer or anti-gay, anti-homosexuality bent to it. I mean, at World Pride in Toronto in 2014, I mean, there were stories of a group of Christians running around the streets handing out anti-gay literature at the Pride Parade. So I mean, it shows that there's definitely this, like I said, even if it's latent, whatever latent means, I'm not even sure what it means, but even if it's this kind of subdued understanding of homosexuality, maybe think about the Pope Francis, the Catholic Church, etc., etc. There's still this anti-gay sentiment when it comes to religion and homosexuality, and on the religious side, obviously. I mean, you think about the plebiscite that's ongoing in Australia right now, or about to happen. I keep saying it's about to happen, and the anti-gay campaign and campaigning that's been happening in Australia when it comes to the plebiscite, and people definitely trying to get that no vote out. There's an imam in Australia right now. I saw the news today, and it's posted on Spiralvent in case you're interested, talking about loving friends and stuff, but just don't get naked with them. So it's always interesting listening to how these highly religious people talk about homosexuality. It's this complete, it's like this very obtuse, I wouldn't even say obtuse, I mean, I would say it's this very kind of hazy understanding of what it is. Like you could definitely tell it's coming from the mouth of someone who does not understand the subject they're trying to get an educated vote out on. So, and I'm not complaining about living in Canada either. I mean, I feel very free in Canada, being a gay man, etc., etc. So, I'm not complaining about that, but I do believe there are still a lot of issues with homosexuality when it comes to the law of any country, basically. I mean, we only recently have all these countries been signing on to, equal marriage, etc., etc. So, what I'm trying to say is, while I get the way people can be fed up of the conversation surrounding homosexuality, I think that there's still a lot there in a religious context when it comes to how people understand what homosexuality is. So that's essentially what I want to say. I just hope that maybe I'd just be a little bit more careful when I talk about homosexuality on Spiralvent, because I definitely don't want to be ramming down this gender pronoun-esque type argument down anybody's throat. And I generally think most people who do watch my channel or visit my website do get what homosexuality is. It's just there's all these stupidities you have to deal with. Well, you don't have to, but it happens. But yeah, that's all I want to say. Bye.